Hey, what's going on, folks? Now, I know everybody's talking about the coronavirus. I know we're all just sitting here waiting, unsure about the future and thinking about what's going to happen next. This is unprecedented. It's never happened in the world before. Well, you will be right. People always say, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist, but now we're actually living what would be considered a conspiracy. If somebody would have told you that 3 months prior to now, this will be happening, you would have said you're a conspiracy theorist. So let's cut out this conspiracy theory talk. All right, I think we're past that. So I'm gonna talk about a few things today that really get on my nerves and get on my mind. First of all, I want to say that most people are thinking too small. You know, we acted like for so long that actually freedom and privacy existed. You know, in this world. We actually thought it existed. We actually thought that with all the distractions, with all of the amenities at our disposal, that we're actually free. We ignored the fact that if we don't pay taxes, that all of these little subtle hints that actually prove we're not really free. Oh, it's my house, but if you don't pay their government, they will take your house. You know, you really don't. You think you own something, but no, the government actually owns it. They're just leasing it to you, which is why that they can take it when they want. And whether people, I know eminent domain and other things exist, but let's be real. Everything in this world has been taken by conquest, by force. All right, not because people had your best intentions in mind. And I'm gonna get to something first, but I'm gonna start with, this. First of all, this world rejects its creator. You know, it rejects the Most High, which has its signature in all of creation, and it's manifested by the value we give ourselves. When our lives are threatened, we actually understand the value of life. But see, we have this fair weather mindset. Oh, I don't care about other people, but when it's me, it's serious. Well, now that's been the rug has been taken from under your feet, because now everybody's life and livelihood seems to be on the line, whether you want to admit it or not. You know, And people don't really believe in this Darwinism. People say, oh, there's no God and, survival of the fittest. But that's a healthy, strong man's mindset. I guarantee you there's no sick, disabled, weak, or disadvantaged person that truly believes in the survival of the fittest. And you won't believe in that either when you get old and helpless, because you wouldn't want nobody to consider your life disposable at the expense of your weakness. You know? And a wealthy man who is facing death, he knows his money is worthless. And we don't realize that. We always forget that death is always a moment away. Even when people are on their deathbed, they don't know exactly when death is going to come. Doctors have said that someone's death is imminent and they have lasted months or years prior. And others thought that, oh, you'll live a long time, and they end up dying the same day. You won't know when it's coming, which is why we shouldn't live as though it doesn't exist. We should live as though we have a reason to and a purpose beyond this life, to actually always be prepared for the imminent death. Always be prepared. But people don't want to believe that until they think, oh, I'll just deal with death when it comes, knowing that they don't know when it's going to come. Okay, so let me move on. This world, from the moment of sin or wickedness became the way of it, was built on a foundation of corruption, lies, war, and exploiting the ignorance and misinformation given to the majority. We know that. All right. Let's not pretend that this world was built on an honor system of fairness and justice. Okay. It never was in any portion of any society, even the most religious. And I say that in quotation because let's be real, religion has long been divorced from any respectable doctrine. For me, it's the Bible. It's actually just the label of religion, not actually it being defined as something according to a standard that actually has any merit. It's really a hypocritical, self-righteous mindset to attribute value to someone just because they want it, not because they've earned it. So, all and I'm just gonna get to a couple of things. I mean, another thing that bothers me is that we seem to trust a government that gives us no choice but to obey them. It's do what I say or I'll throw you in prison or worse. That's real fact based, right? But people actually trust that. And they use a system of institutions to indoctrinate, not educate people on what to think and not how to think. So let's be real. A lot of people, they put so much faith in science, but the same medical industry that y'all trust in doesn't promote healing. And it's been proven over and over again that these treatments are destructive and they actually negate the process of healing. They actually just prolong a weakened state of a body so that they can profit from the treatment. Just look at the price tag on these treatments. Look at the lobbying that's going on in your government, in your Congress right now about healthcare. Why is it such a big deal? You really think this government, which will throw millions of soldiers to war to fight over oil, really value you? Or is this really about finding ways to make money? Stop being stupid, y'all. We gotta wake up. And I'm saying we, all of us, we can no longer be ignorant about what's going on. I'm not even gonna say whether the virus is real or not. All right, the consequences of what it represents are gonna be real either way. And I'm gonna get to that as well because I'm gonna be real serious about you. Let's keep it 100, y'all. This government has been poisoning us through the water systems. We got atrazine, chlorine, fluoride, and God knows whatever hormones and chemical pharmaceutical drugs that actually don't get filtered out being recycled through our water table and water systems. We got the pollution from outdoors that entered into the water table and the aquifers and such. That stuff is not filtered out. They do not have reverse osmosis machines to cleanse our water supply, people. What we cook and what we bathe with. No, most people don't have $5,000 huge filters on their main water pipe entering their home. Okay, most people don't have that. So let's not act like that we do. All right, we're being bathed in chemicals. If you've noticed, the chemtrails have been steadily increasing. We rarely see a prolonged sunny day because every time there is one, the chemtrails are just those planes are lighting the skies up, man. We're being gassed with aluminum, barium, all kinds of toxic compounds that do God knows what to us. All right. And let's not even talk about the food, the preservatives, the toxins, the glyphosate, all these things that the FDA has regulated and approved for years, okay? In our very food that they have evidence from the NIH and all these so-called institutions that y'all people trust in have documentation that this is killing people. And yet the government has approved it to be in your food, okay? They do not care. Look at the research behind GMO and what it does. It's been proven to kill everything, but the pesticide has been proven to kill every living organism except for the actual plant that's genetically modified to survive it. All right? So the government, we have ample evidence that this government will kill you. It does not care about you. You're just a casualty of war. You're a means to an end of profit and control. Don't act like those people up there that are getting these huge salaries care and value your life, all right? Stop acting like this science that people have been passed down is actually based on logical thinking, okay? Because I can go to any hospital or doctor and I don't hear common sense. I hear treatments. In my own life, I've actually cured my body of something that several doctors said was uncurable, that I was born with, okay? I've tested this on myself. I've done it to those I truly care about and to one who is 90 years old and according to doctors should have been dead 10 years ago, okay? So don't tell me that science and these doctors know what they're talking about when they're incentivized by money, they're incentivized by their jobs. They have to go by a book that's written according to a policy given by an authoritative governing body that has all kinds of alternative agenda, least of which is providing a service to care for people. All right. So let's not be serious. Science has long ago been divorced from providing experiments that are testable, repeatable to actually perform anything good, okay? We assume that the scientists are moral people, that they actually want to help people and not affiliated with sinister agendas, all right? Let's just keep it a buck. I just want to educate people on things because this is getting ridiculous. And let's say all we know when it comes to the human body, truly and universally, is that when we're exposed to unnatural toxins, chemicals, or particulates, we can call them viruses or whatever, our body produces mucus to protect our vital organs and eliminate the foreign toxins. Then they use the lymphatic system, which is just the system of your glands that supplies your immune system to cleanse the blood. And our body excretes those toxins through all the ways, which I'm not going to mention because we know that. All right, sweat, urine, whatever. You know the rest. And every word that you hear of every disease is just a label, a word, okay? Even the word dis-ease. Look up the etymology of words, man. Know exactly why do they call things and where does it come from. Look up epistemology. How do you know what you know, all right? It's like we're just not making sense, man. And the simple answer to how do we know what we know, the simple as is that you never really know because we have been instructed by authoritative governing bodies who have qualified themselves not by logic, not by merit or results, but simply because they assumed authority by force, using force and protecting it by force. All right? They are being motivated by money and their own self-interest and are being educated and indoctrinated by books that don't promote healing or cures, but just expensive treatment to make suffering more profitable with pain management, which is just actually cutting off the nerves. All right, they're destroying your nerves, putting neurotoxins in the body, or they're dulling your nerves with all kind of drugs that destroy your liver and kidneys. Look it up for those who trust, you know, the scientific books, but they won't trust the Bible. But trust your scientific books. They tell you this, and they expose the true problem, and they interfere with the body um ability to self-heal. Okay, I mean, come on, y'all, this government has been poisoning folks for years. Let's keep it a buck, man. Just because the veil has been lifted, the distraction of wealth, vanity, lust, fame, it all seems to fall a little flat these days when the carpet is being pulled from under your feet, and we see how quickly we can become prisoners not only of our own ignorance, trusting the intel of others and the government, but literal prisoners in your own home. We just look, the same people that control everything that we need to survive are telling us the narrative of how things happen. Just think about that. They control everything. You think that, look, they could be poisoning us via so many different ways and call it whatever they want to, and we'll just have to accept it. Because we do not control our water supply, we do not control our food supply, and we don't control who pumps what and what they pump in the airways, okay? This is happening 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You're being sprayed, and the food that you get, you have to trust these regulators and all these governmental officials who are paid and have been busted lobbying in Congress to promote all kinds of agendas, okay? And the pharmaceutical companies, I don't even have to talk about that, okay? None of those drugs actually do anything but destroy people, all right? And for those who think we're living longer, no, we're only living longer in theory because maybe 10 to 15 years before people die, they're literally either insanely insane and deeply in dementia or Alzheimer's, or they're bedridden. If you want to call that living, so be it, but it wasn't so 100 plus years ago, all right? People actually died on their feet with their mind intact. If you want to believe they're being drugged into a vegetable and all of this is considered life, then okay, then don't be surprised when you end up that way. All right, we should be very aware about what's going on. We should be honest about the actual results that are happening, okay? I'm not saying that there isn't a true virus or toxin that's poisoning us right now. I'm just telling you that whether it's real or not, the agenda is not the virus. The agenda is to implement a new regime that is centralizing all the world's governments, that's connecting everybody into a new system of survival and a new system of commerce that actually takes away this individual illusion of work ethic that we all have, and it puts us into a new role under a government, a world government that's connecting everybody. Why do you think this is global, y'all? It's funny how they had so much entertainment being pumped, and that was the first thing they shut off was the entertainment because they didn't want you to be distracted about this. They don't mind you being distracted when they was indoctrinating you into using the distraction, but once they actually implemented this, they took all your distractions away, and all these paid actors and entertainers and athletes, they became the new disseminators of information. They become the spokesperson of how you should feel and think during this crisis. People who just play a sport or make you laugh or sing for an entertainment have now become the spokespeople approved by the government to tell you how you should react and what you should think. All right, just think about this, y'all. Use common sense. And I'm not even gonna get to you about what an actual virus is, or, according to the science that many of you all trust in, it's not even alive, okay? It does not have cells. They cannot turn food into energy. And without a host, they're just basically inert packets of chemicals, y'all, biological chemicals, which means that, yes, they could use pre-existing living tissue and living organic material and manipulate it to create something that bonds with us, okay? Some kind of chemical that bonds in our body that makes our immune system struggle to eliminate it and then replicate itself using our own biology. A perfect biological weapon, and let's be real, chemical and biological warfare does exist, okay? And this is crazy. And the word virus comes from a Latin word which means a poison or slimy liquid. Look at the beginning of why we call things what we call them, and the origins of where they come from usually tells you more, because there's nothing new under the sun, people. They're telling you these things, but the government has always been evil throughout all of time in history. When has people in power with wealth and control ever been uh, benevolent to people who don't have it? Give me evidence. Don't just tell me I need to trust the government, the military, or anything, when the military and the government all have agenda and they all take orders. All right? And they all supply people who are interconnected into something that we can't verify or know. We're just disposable, we're expendable. That's what we are. So we need to start using common sense. All right, look, I'm not telling people to rebel against the government or do anything silly. I'm just simply telling you to think for yourself and use common sense. All right, stop trusting people through this system of Freemasonry that, everybody, oh, because this person went to a school that indoctrinated them using a book that was approved by a government that has an agenda, that these people are telling you something that's proven to be right when you have evidence of that book being wrong in so many different ways, empirically wrong. Not just, oh, there are things right now, and according to documented medical science, that are just wrong. And many people, millions of people are dying from it. They say 80,000 people died from the flu last year, and this is CDC, and it estimates that 290,000 or 650,000 globally die from this. Okay, I mean, look, most people don't know that 480,000 people die from cigarette-related deaths each year by the CDC. That's 1 in 5 annually, or 1,300 deaths every day by the CDC. Okay, I don't see an epidemic going on about cigarettes. They still sell them everywhere. 88,000 die from alcohol-related deaths in the U.S. each year. 56.9 worldwide died in 2016 from heart disease. That's simply bad eating habits, high the sugar being put in everything that's destroying our vascular system. But this is all government approved. The FDA approves this food to be sold, and 56.9 million people worldwide died from it in 2016, in a year, from heart disease, y'all. Where's the outrage? None. 9.6 million deaths caused by cancer each year. And how many things does the government and the industry approve that actually cause cancer in your everyday products and food? Wake up. So I'm just going to leave it here, man. I just had to vent because this is ridiculous, man. Yeah, we have a serious problem going on, but the biggest problem we have is that people just want to believe any narrative that a proven government that lies. just believing that. I mean, people knowingly destroy themselves, all the time, with proven results of doing the wrong things. And then we reap the consequences of that. And then we wait for a doctor or lab coat to assign a word to what is simply uh, the result of defiling your own body. So I'm going to leave it at that, y'all. Peace out.